Hello, welcome to another Learn Minecraft hacking tutorial. And today we're going to show you how you can use Minecraft with Python to create a working clock in the Minecraft world. So if you look there, it's on the right hand side, it's ticking away. And that's the correct time. It's the time that's been pulled from the system. Okie dokie. So let's get going. Now the first thing I want to do is I'm going to show you a few things in Python itself so we can get an idea of what we're going to use, how we're going to get there. So we'll just open up Python itself. There we are, nice little command console. Now for this tutorial you're going to need the console here. If you're using the Linux version, the Raspberry Pi version, then you're going to want to open up Terminal. And you're going to need to open up some kind of text editor as well. I'm using Notepad++ because I'm on Windows, because it's a little bit hard to record these tutorials on the Raspberry Pi itself. So you're just going to need the three screens. You're going to need Minecraft up over here on a game. You're going to need here, you're going to need Python, and which we're going to come out in a bit to run it, and a text editor to actually create your full code. So what we're going to do, well, for this tutorial, we need to be able to use the time. We need to be able to get the time. So what we use here is we need to use the DateTime module, import DateTime. Now DateTime here, if you do now equals datetime.now, and that will create a DateTime object. You don't have to worry about what that is. We've saved it under the name now. And there it is, there's the full date. Now you could do all sorts of fancy things inside a Minecraft world. You could, if you wanted, just literally post the time itself down the bottom in the chat thing every minute or so, but we're doing a bit more fun than that. So there's the now, and interestingly, here we go with the now object. Although it looks a bit like a tuple, if you said go get me the first item, which is now 0, it won't work. Okay, you can't get the first item doing that. But it does work if you do now.hour, and it will get you the hour, or now.minute. There you go. And it'll get you the hour, the minute, or even the seconds, or anything else you want to get actually. But we're just going to need the hour, the minute, and the second. There you go. So it's got the hour, the minute, and the second, and it does record it in a 24-hour clock system. So we're going to have to change that. Obviously, analog clocks like this, they run on a 12-hour system. So we're going to have to put a little bit of our own code in there to fix that, which we can do in a bit. Good. So that's the first thing we're going to be using. We're going to be using the DateTime, and we could do that down here in our script. Import DateTime. We'll debug this in a bit, and then here we can do now equals DateTime.now. There we go, and then we can do let's just put here hour equals now.hour, minute equals now.minute, and second equals now.second. There you go. So that would then, here, if we put this inside of a loop, so let's put this inside of a nice while true loop. Put that inside of a nice while true loop. This will constantly get the hour, the minute, and the second, which we will use to update our clock. What we'll do is we'll just put a little while, do a time.sleep as well, because that would do it incredibly quickly. We only want it to get we only want to update the time every second or so, because otherwise it's quite a bit of effort, quite a bit of work for the processor. So if we did it too often, it's going to slow down your Raspberry Pi or whatever you're using. So we'll put a time.sleep in there, which means we're going to need to import time, which is good. And now our program, although it's not working in the Minecraft world, is getting the time every single second. And we could try. We could do. Let's have a look. If we do imports mcpi.minecraft, mc equals minecraft.oops. Create. And you could actually if you did mc.post to chat and did now, you could see that happening every second. If we say, let's save that. Let's go to quick access. Okay, let's call this my clock. Clock.py. Let's save that to as a py file. There we go. So now, if we save that, and let's leave Python for the moment. Let's exit, and if we run that, Python myclock.py. Oops. Oh, that's fine. As Minecraft. There we go. Let me type that right. You won't notice it here, but I keep doing Control-S to save. Every time I do an update, I just save it so that it'll run the updated version. Make sure you're saving as you're going along. And there you go. So you can see every second it's posting the time there to the chat window. And what you could do there is you could do, if you move this down here instead, what you could do is just do hour plus minute, just to show you, just to give you an example. Plus speech marks plus second. There you go. You could strip all of the extra bits off there so that it's only posting. Let's just kill that. To kill a running script, you hold Control and press C, and that will kill it. Let's have a look. And press Enter. Oh. Oh yeah, okay. Wrap those in strings, here we go. We won't need this for our actual program, but this is an excellent way of debugging, especially if you try to start doing your own scripts. This is a great way to debug and develop programs. Do it bit by bit and get a bit working. There you go, so 11:07, 11 o'clock. It's exactly on 11 o'clock. It is. There you go. And 12 seconds. And that'll keep going. There we go. Good stuff. Okie dokie. So let's just stop that. So we don't need that. Oh, no. Cancel. Control C. There you go. Let's stop that. And we're not going to need that because we know that now is now working. So now what we need to do is we need to start to create our clock itself. So what I'll do here is I'll just save the quick title. I'll create a new game so that I haven't got my existing clock, so you can believe me when it says it creates it automatically. There we go, creating worlds. There we go. So here's my new world. Good stuff. Excellent. And what we need to do now is... Oh. Where's my cows? Oh, surrounded by cows. Okay, there we go. So what we're going to do now is we're going to create the circle of the clock face. So how do we create a circle? Well, we need to use a bit of maths. And we're going to use the maths module. Now, I'm not brilliant at maths, so I had to Google this. But after a bit of Googling, like how to draw a circle at coordinates, that's what I used to Google, I came up with these two bits of these two formulas. It was x equals radius, which is the radius of the circle, multiplied by math.cos, because we're using cosine, open brackets, and it's the angle, the point on the angle, which we're going to talk about in a minute, times maths.pi, divided by 180. There we go. And that's how you get the x coordinates of each point in the circle. I'll show you this in a second when it works. And y, to get the y coordinate of each point on the circle, y coordinates is maths.sine. Let's have a look. There we go, angle, there we go. Pi divided by 80, there we go, good stuff. So, what's actually happening here? Well, if we go back to our game, in fact, let me just run, let's run that once now. Radius equals, let's do 30, and we'll do our angle of the circle equals, let's do 90, there we go. Now let's try running that, let's see if that works. There we go, that's working, back again. So, what's actually happening here? Can I see that? Oh, it's not appeared. That's okay. We'll look at that in a minute. In the Minecraft world, if we ever want to put blocks somewhere, we need to, when we're using the set block function, we need to know the X, the Y, and the Z coordinate. The X is how far left and right, so what position left and right. The Y coordinate is what position up or down we're going to put it in. And then the Z coordinate is how far deep into the world. So we need those three coordinates. Now, when we're making a circle is 360 degrees, which for us is enough. We're going to do 360 points on this circle. And for each point on the circle, we're just going to draw a block. But we need to calculate exactly where that position is. Now, that's where this bit of maths here comes along. Now, you can't see this in this yet, but you will do in a minute. Is that what it's done here is it's put a block. Oh, no, it hasn't. That's why it's not there. mc.set block, and we can go to the x coordinate, the y coordinate, and for the z, we'll just put a fixed 10. That means 10 in the game, and we'll do a block.wood. Which means that we need to import as well. Import mcpi. mcpi.block. Block. There we go. So we'll close that. So what we're going to do here is we're going to set a block. We're just going to set one block at the moment at that x and that y, which is going to be 90 degrees on the circle. Now, a bit weirdly, I would have thought that 90 degrees starts at the top, but it turns out it doesn't. 90 degrees actually starts at the left here, and then it, sorry, 90 degrees, oh, let's try again. I would have thought a circle would have started 0 at the top, and then go 0, 90, 180, 270, right back to 0, but it doesn't. It actually starts here on the left. So it goes 0 degrees, 90 degrees, 180, 270 in a big circle like that. And I'm going to show you that in a second now, how that will work. So what we'll do here is I'll just run that now, save that, and I'll run that again. And now, hopefully, somewhere in the world, it has drawn a block, which I can't see. But we'll see in a minute. We'll see in 1 second when I start to run the rest of it. Hopefully we'll see a big circle. So, we need to do 360 degrees. So for each of these angles there, we can't just use 90 degrees. We've got to use every angle in a circle. So how do we do that? Well, simple bit of Python. For I in, what we'll do for angle in range, 360, there we go, and then move those into the for loop. So that there, the for loop is a nice simple way of going through a list, and let me just show you that in Python. Range, let's say range 20, that will give us a range of 20, which if you convert that to a list, there you go, you will see that it actually, you're creating 20 numbers, all the way from 0 right through to 19. So a range gives us a for loop, a for loop combined with a range means that we're going to go through 360 times, and each time we're going to change the angle to be one more than before. So it'll start at 0 and it will go the first time round 1, 2, 3, 4, well, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and it will do that 360 times. And we'll do a time dot sleep 0.1. And the reason we'll do that inside of here for the moment is so that you can see it actually working and actually creating our circle. So let's leave Python, exit, and there we go. And now hopefully in our world, there you go. It is making it. There you go. Oh, there was our block before. I just didn't see it. It was above my head. So that's how it works. You can create a circle. There we go. And that's as simple as that. 360 times, do that calculation, and put a block at that position. And there you go. You can see it just going straight round. Of course, there's a slight problem, is that our clock at the moment our clock is underground, or half of it is underground, because we started its y coordinate underground. So how do we fix that? Well, what we do here is, let's just say y equals radius. Let's do, in fact, let's create a position. Let's call the center of the circle. Center equals, and then we'll set it at, let's do 20, 20. So we're setting it 20 across and 20 up. Good stuff. And now what we do is here, we go to center and we do center square brackets 0 plus the radius. So just making our little equation there a little bit more complicated, and then center 1. So what's happening here is center 0 stands for center, and then the first item. We always, in Python, we start counting at 0. So center 0, center 1, which will get you the 20. And now, hopefully, if we just get rid of that and do it again. Have I saved it? No, I've not saved it. Let's save it. And now, hopefully, it will, back to the game. Is that working? Oh, yes, it will be, but it'll probably be somewhere else. There it is. Hey, good stuff. So, as you can see, our circle has moved. There we go, to move slightly to the left and slightly up. You can change the center position to whatever you want it, and you can change the radius of the circle to however you want it. So what we'll do here is I will, let's have a look. Let's just move the radius out of this while loop, actually, because we don't need to keep recreating the radius in the while loop. And I'll put the radius to 20, a little bit of a smaller circle. And what I will do is we'll do mc.setBlocks 0, 0, 0, 50, 50, 50, block.air. There we go. So that will get rid of all, it'll just give us a nice clear area at the start of the program, so we don't have to keep overwriting our circles. There we go. Let's have a look and go with that. Let's just Control-C that, and there we go. Nice clear area. You can make that a bit bigger, however you want to make it bigger. And once it's made it nice and clear, it starts to draw our circle. Whee, good stuff, there's our circle. Now you'll notice I've got those bits of the circle left over from before. If you just increase those 50, the 50 values here to 100, that should get rid of those and it'll make it nice and clear. I'll do that in a minute. Let's put those to 100. There we go. That's good, and it's done the full circle. Good, excellent. Good. So now we've got it doing our radius as the circle. It's going right all the way around, which is good. And we don't need that time.sleep now, so it should do it instantly or very, very quickly. Let's have a look. Let's just save that. Control-C, and we'll just do that. So now it should, there you go, recreate it, and it's already done it, which is perfect. Good. So we've got our circle outside of the clock. So now what do we need to do? Well, now we need to create, should we have a go at doing the minute hand? The minute hand. So how does that work? Well, if you think about it, the minute hand is just a line that starts here dead center and it goes out all the way to the radius. So it starts the center, which will be 0, and it goes out to the radius, which is whatever the radius is. So it's going to be going along by 20. All the way out for there, 20 times, all the way out to there. So what we need to do now is we need to do a similar thing before, where we calculate the points using this kind of equation here. But this time, what's going to change is not the angle, okay? So the angle is going to stay the same, okay? This time, what's going to change is going to change the point, the radius. So it's just going to be radius 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, or all the way up to 20. So the angle is going to stay the same, or it's going to change. Well, angle's going to be different. So this time we're going to do let's do I in range, and that's going to be radius, which will give us numbers up to the radius. And same again, these two here. There we are. There we go. Good stuff. There we are. Excellent. So we got the, there we are, let's have a look. And that's fine there. Okay, it's not going to be radius this time, because it's going to be I, because each time it's going to change. Let's get rid of the radius and put I, which is good. The angle's going to stay the same, but the angle we're going to need to calculate before we start this loop. So how do we calculate the angle? Well, that's quite easy, because here, on the circle has 360 degrees, but the angle we're going to be calculating is one from how many minutes around the clock, which has 60. So before we do that, we need to do a little bit of a calculation. So what we do here is we'll do it here, and we'll do angle equals, let's have a look, minute divided by 60. Do the minutes? Yeah, minutes divided by 60 multiplied by 360. There we go. And that should get the correct angle, sort of. But there'll be one slight little issue. So let's have a go. Let's see if that works. And you'll be able to tell me what the issue is now. Minute is not defined. Oh, we're not. Oh, I need to do all that bit on minutes, don't I? Okay, so minute equals now dot minute. There we go. Let's just say that. You don't actually have to do this. You could here put now dot minute. You could do there now dot minute. In fact, we'll do that. We'll do that now dot minute. Let's. Why do an extra line when we don't need to? Be more efficient. So now dot minute. There you go. And now hopefully, if we save that, and we run it, it should create it. Oh no. Haha. Okay. There we go. That would help if we actually created the blocks for each one of those. Let's have a look. Hey, there you go. Brilliant. Perfect. Or sort of. So now it's calculated the minute and it's drawn a line. But if you look at my clock here, we've got a slight issue because it is not 11 o'clock on the nose. It's 11:15 exactly. So it's doing it slightly wrong. And the reason it's doing it slightly wrong is because, as I said before, it starts here. 0 would be counted to here, so it's gone 15 minutes round as if the clock was on its side, which is no good. So what we need to do here is we need to say, okay, the angle is that, but we'll always add 90 degrees to the angle. And now hopefully, if we redo it, there you go. So now we've got a clock that ticks, and every second it updates it, the minute hand there, which ticks round quite happily. Good. So there's our minute hand. And we can do exactly the same if we want to now with the, slight issue there. If you notice now what's happening here is the minute hand has moved to the next position, but what's not happened here is it's not deleted the previous minute hand. That's no good. Okay, so we need something that's going to delete the previous minute hand. Now, what you could do, if you wanted to, is you could calculate, and this is probably the most efficient, calculate exactly which blocks were put as blocks.wood, and then you could overwrite each individual as block.air, which is probably the better solution. But for the moment, what we'll do is here, at the start of each tick in the clock, because it comes back through after the time.sleep there, at the start of each new tick, what we'll do is we'll do mc.setBlocks, and we'll just delete some of the area. Now, which area are we deleting? Well, are we going to start at 0? No, we're not. We're going to start at, it will be whatever the center is here, the first thing of the center, minus the radius, I think. So center, 0 minus the radius. Radius. And then, which will get the 0 minus the radius, which will be here. So the start point there, x will be there. Same thing for the y coordinate, but you're going to get the that figure, which is going to be the y rather than the x, so it still works, which is good. Z is a fixed z, isn't it? We just did 10, so that'll be 10. And then we just do the same again, like those three there. But instead of doing minus the radius, we'll do plus the radius. There we go. So what we're doing is we're working out just a nice simple calculation, and we'll set them to block.air. A simple calculation that works out the start point down there, the end point here, and replaces those blocks. And because we're only replacing those blocks, it's a little bit quicker than using something like a kind of a blanket one here that would replace all the blocks. So hopefully now, if we save that, Control C, and then run it there. And now, there we go. As you can see, it should, when it ticks through to the next minute, we'll just keep an eye on that. It should then delete the previous one. In fact, you can see it deleting anyway. It sort of flashes a bit, and then put the next minute on. So while we're waiting for that to tick through, we might as well have a go at the seconds. So where are we at? Seconds is going to be exactly the same as this, but we'll do second angle. In fact, actually, what we'll do here is second angle equals, and it's going to be the same thing because our seconds are the same as minutes. It's divided by 60, but instead of now.minute, it'll be now.second. There we go. And what we'll do here is we'll do this the minute angle. We'll change that so that it's a little bit more robust. Minute angle. And there we are, delete that. Minute angle. There we go. So that's the minute angle. And effectively, we just do the same here for the second. But instead of a minute angle, it's going to be second. Second angle and second angle. There we go. Good. Save that, which is fine. There you go. And now, hopefully, if we control up, but we won't do. Oh, what do we do? Let's have a look. Ooh. Stop that. That should have stopped. Control C. Yep. There we go. And now, if we run it, there you go. Good. So now we've got the minute hand ticking away and the second hand ticking away. You can change the blocks from wood to whatever you want to do it. Don't change it to fire though. I changed it to fire and it just burnt my clock down. So that wasn't a good idea. The flaming clock is probably not a great idea. In fact, let me show you that now actually, because that was quite a bit of a giggle. So if I changed it to fire, there we are, and then run it again. There you go, we just had burn everywhere. The whole place was just exploding. There you go. So I don't know how it worked, but it seemed to have burnt the whole thing down before. I don't know how it... Oh, is that starting? Oh, it's because it keeps deleting the fire block, but before it just burnt it all down. It was quite funny anyway. So, let's change that to block.wood. Here we go. And you can use whatever blocks you want. Now, that's all perfect for those two. Now we need to do the hour hand. Same sort of thing, but there's two little niggles with the hour hand. First of all, the hours, because it's a 24-hour clock, we need to first convert the hour to a 12-hour clock. So now what we can do is say, okay, if now.hour equals 0, so if the hour is 0 o'clock, hour equals what? 12. That would be 12 when I'm taking the clock. Otherwise, if the hour now.hour is greater than 12, so it's like 13 o'clock, then the hour is going to be now.hour minus 12. So 13 o'clock will go to 1 o'clock, 14 will go to 2 o'clock, etc., etc., etc. Otherwise, the hour is just simply now.hour. There we go. Excellent. That's all done. And then what we do is, now we've got the hour like that, we can calculate the hour angle equals, same sort of thing, now.hour equals, and then, but here you don't put now.hour, you just put hour. And the reason is we don't want to use the original now.hour because we need to use the converted one that we've just created. There we go, so hour angle. And here we do the same sort of thing. There we are. Same sort of thing. Cut and paste. And that's going to be hour angle. Hour angle. That's going to be hour angle. There we go. Hour angle, set block wood. There we go. There we are. In fact, actually, we'll change that to block.stone because it's going to be an hour. Save that. And now, if we interrupt that, save it. There you go. Almost perfect. Almost perfect. So we've got a working minute angle, a working hour angle, which is okay. You'll have probably noticed that it's not. Where are we at? Oh no, we've got one slight issue. I've just realised I made a mistake. So the minute angle and the second. Now I was wondering why it wasn't the right angle. The minute and the second are correct because obviously there's 60 seconds in a minute, 60 minutes in an hour. But of course, on the hour angle, it's not. You don't have 60 hours in a day for the analog clock. You only have 12 on an analog clock. That's why. So let's just Control S that. So make sure we got that there. And there we go. That's more like it. So that should be right. Yep. Wonder why that wasn't quite right. So it's 11:20 something, I think. So it's right. Yes, 11:24, which is good. There we go. And yes, that seems to be working about right, doesn't it? Which is good. That's okay. That's good. There we are. That's all okay. Now we've got one small problem: is that obviously on a clock, the hour hand is never that big. Okay, it doesn't go all the way from 0 through to 20. Okay, it actually probably goes about halfway there. Okay, so what we need to do is we need to say, okay, we're going to still use this for loop, and we could use a separate for loop, but we're going to use this one. But what we're going to say is we're only going to keep building the hour hand here if the I is less than or equal to radius divided by 2. There we go. So we're only going to do the first half. So I starts at 0, so it's going to be less than or equal to radius divided by 2. And we'll move those in. So now hopefully it will only draw the use this less than or equal to. It'll only draw the first half. It won't draw the second half. Let's have a go. Control C. There you go. Sorted. So there we have a fully working clock in the Minecraft world. What I will do now, just to tidy things up here, is let's just change that to what's that? Let's go minus 100, minus 100. So minus 100, minus 100, minus 100. There we go. And just that hopefully now should. Oops. That wiped out all the right area or not? I know it's stopped it all. What's happened there? Doesn't seem to want to do it. Nope. Let's try again. Let's just get rid of that. And let's do 0. I'll change that to 0. There we are. But while that's doing that. Oh, it looks like it has done it. It was just taking quite a bit of time. So we'll just kill that. Let's go. Oops. Oh, that's okay. There we are. Let's change that. So 0, 400y. Let's go 0 for that one. There we go. And that hopefully now back to game should. Yay! There we go. So it's now ticking. I've created a huge chasm in my game. Okay, whoops, a bit too big. We didn't really need that. But if I just go down a bit, there we go. We have a working clock in the Minecraft game. So have a go, make it your own. Try doing a few mods. You can make it more efficient if you want to. Have a play, and good fun. Have good fun hacking. As always, if you like the tutorials, make sure you subscribe because I will add more and more tutorials for different things. And let me know if you've got any ideas for tutorials in the comments. Thank you very much. Good luck.